Hello, everybody. Good to be back. Yeah, it's been an interesting time. So, yeah, as I was reflecting on what do we want to do today? Um, what a time we're living in. And I really feel like the best thing that we can probably do for the world, for each other, is to go within and look at where we're not free in here. And so, yeah, let's practice together today and see if we can meet these inner parts with more and more compassion and more kindness. And what usually happens is that expands outwards. Um, yeah, I was struck by this song that I was listening to. I don't know if I'm imagining that many of you have been struggling with everything that's going on right now, and some maybe more than others, but there was this song by a kirtan artist who he kind of mixes kirtan, which is like singing mantra. He mixes it with his own indie kind of rock style. Um, and he had this phrase, dance within the storm. And so that's kind of been landing for me that we're kind of learning how to dance within the storm. And if I can figure out how to play the song for you, and I may need some technical assistance from Misty. She's helped me with this before. And let me see if I can do it because I'd love to just play the song for you. It's beautiful, and the way that it's been impacting me and the reason I want to share it with you is I don't know, it's just helping me access some sort of place of kindness within myself. You know, when I'm feeling physically sick or I'm feeling emotionally sick or I'm feeling the what's happening in the world as this like collective grief feeling. Um, there was something about this song that it just kind of it helped soften and open my heart and it gave me a place to like rest for a little bit is the best way I can put it. And I'm sure we all have our music and our ways of doing that, but yeah, there was something about the song that really struck me and made me want to share it with you. So I'm going to see if I can figure that out here. Um, I think all I need to do is share sound.
Yeah, I think that's correct. And then probably stereo.
Okay. And can you still see me?
Nope, I can see your screen.
You can see my screen. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Someday I'll be more tech savvy, everybody. Today is not the day. There it is. Okay. So before I start the song, I think what I'm going to do. So you can't see me now, right, Misty?
It depends on how people have it set up.
Mhm.
I can see you in a little box, but what I see is your screen.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to get too worked up about it. You can hear me. I think what I'm going to suggest is that, okay, so Amy's just saying I can see your speaker and screen. Great. Thanks for your patience with me, everybody. I'm overcoming some tech fears. little by little. What I would suggest is that you get into a position of meditation, whatever that is for you today. If you're tired and your body's like, I just don't want to sit up, then listen to that. Listen to that. Trust what your body is telling you and lay down if you need to. Be comfortable, be at ease. Winter is not a time to push. Winter is a time to rest and reflect. It's time for things to slow down. And in our culture, we're very bad at that, myself included. So see if you can I'm going to invite you and see if you can invite yourself into more of a restful space, more of a receptive, less of a trying, less of a efforting place. We all know how to effort, being American or being of Western, many of us, and many of us perhaps are from other countries too. That would be lovely. But if you grew up here, you know about how to push. So see if you can do what would bring ease right now. What would bring ease to your body, to your mind? Would it be more easeful to turn your phone on silent or do not disturb if you can? I'm just doing that now. What would bring ease? And maybe you can't do that. So it's not about the thing, it's about how do we call in these states? How do we support ourselves to feel these kinds of states that are in our benefit? So as you begin to find whatever position you want to be in, I want to invite you into some deep breaths in through the nose, if your nose is open today, and then out through the mouth. And they're going to be these nice deep belly breaths where you breathe really fully, maybe even just you'll breathe in fully and then you'll sniff in a little bit more. So the breath is really filling the belly, it's filling the chest. You're very expanded. And then very slow out through the mouth. And at your own pace, keep doing this. So you don't have to go at my pace, but at your pace, you're breathing in, you're feeling that air fill that lower abdomen all the way down to like the pubic bone, even. Maybe you're stretching. The skin is stretching as you fill your body with this air, with this oxygen. And then as you breathe out, maybe you're forming your mouth, you're pursing your lips a little bit to slow down the exhale. So this will activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your nervous system that is for soothing, is for calming, is for landing, the rest and digest part of our nervous systems. Using the diaphragm by breathing fully into the belly, activating that vagus nerve that helps that rest and digest turn on. And then that nice slow exhale that is also very supportive of the calming part of the nervous system. This very slow exhale. And in your next exhale, whenever that occurs, see if you can tune into how, as you breathe out slowly, there's this subtle moving downward of the body and the shoulders. There's almost this like, it's like a slowly deflating balloon that is just kind of coming more and more and more into a resting place. And for some of you, that may be obvious feeling, and for some of you, the subtlety of that, it may be not quite accessible yet. So don't worry about it too much if you can't really feel the body softening. Imagine the body softening, even if it feels quite rigid. Sort of imagine your shoulders going down a little bit. Imagine the face getting heavy. Imagine the jaw releasing, and you might even just let your jaw hang at the end of an exhale. So, the next very specific place I'd invite your awareness is, you breathe in fully wherever you're at in your breath cycle. You breathe out slowly. And then there's a pause where you don't quite need to breathe in yet. So, what I would invite you to do is focus your awareness on the pause after you've exhaled and just see if you can notice or lean into the idea of the face, the shoulders, the body. Everything is just sort of leaning into gravity. And even if your body is really tight and tense, it's not unusual at this time of year for bodies to get tight and tense. My body has been very tight and tense. So we're not striving, we're not pushing the body to relax. It's more of a like you're leaning into the process that is already happening just because you're breathing out. There's really nothing to do. And then at the end of the out breath, for as long as it's comfortable, you don't have to hold your breath, but just notice what that moment of silence is like. And maybe your mind gets really busy. Maybe you become aware of sensations in the body. Maybe there's emotions. So it's not like we're trying to get rid of anything and have it be super perfectly Zen silent. It's just like in that pause where you're not breathing in and you're not breathing out, see if you can lean into the face and the mouth and the jaw releasing. And then just see what else you notice. There's no right or wrong. We're just noticing. So see about that. The breathing in, the breathing out, and then the noticing after the exhale. And I'm just going to be quiet as you go through several breath cycles where you're paying attention to the entire breath, but what I'm really inviting you into is to see what happens during the post exhale. Just notice that space, knowing there's no right or wrong. We're just noticing. And when you feel the urge to breathe, so when you notice the urge to breathe in, you're not holding your breath. You notice what it's like to start to inhale. And begin to notice if there are any areas in the body that you're bracing, that you're holding tightly, that, you know, they're not the muscles of the back that are holding you upright, but areas in the body that are clenched. And maybe it's out of habit, maybe it's out of like the body protecting. We don't really have to know, but just begin to notice, are there areas of the body that are clenching? If you can bring awareness to it without having to change it, but just imagine that you can start to breathe into. Imagine your breath being directed into these areas of clenching one at a time, not with the intention of getting rid of anything, but just bringing some breath, bringing some space, and then just seeing what happens. We don't have to get rid of anything. Just see what happens as you breathe into areas of the body that may be clenched or tight without trying to get rid of it. You're just bringing awareness. Just letting the body be as it is today, not having to fix, not having to change. Noticing if there's an impulse or a thought of like, oh, I should be more relaxed. I should be able to let go of this muscle tension or whatever. And just noticing those thoughts as they arise. Maybe the body softens, maybe it doesn't. There's no right or wrong. Bodies have their own wisdom. So, really kind of trusting the wisdom of your own body. Maybe it wants to soften and maybe it doesn't today. Just noticing what it's like to be in your body today. And all the while staying connected to this breath that is always now. It's right here, always present, linking you, tethering you to the present moment without having to really try. You know, when you go away in story or you get lost or you forget you're meditating, just gently notice the breath again. And the breath is this sort of, it's this through line, it's this thread. You can always, even if you drop the thread for a moment, you just come back gently, noticing any self-criticism or perfectionism or any of the isms, just noticing how that shows up in your mind, seeing it. Oh, well, you're human. And then coming back again to the next breath. So allowing all the humanness in you, all the phenomena of being human, all the thoughts, all the feelings, all the body sensations, all the smells and sounds. You don't have to get rid of any of that. You're just also coming back to the breath, feeling the breath, noticing the pause sometimes after the exhale. What's that like? And maybe as you sit, as you land, maybe stuff that's kind of been tucked away, so that we can function. Like the subtler stuff might start to arise, maybe some sadness or grief or anger or joy. So, whatever it is that starts to arise, you don't have to do anything differently. You're just noticing it. For some of you, it might help to label things. Oh, there's throat constriction, or oh, there's fear. Oh, there's a story that goes along with that. The story is blah, blah, blah. So you're getting practice at witnessing your own experience. You're not bypassing any of the experience. The invitation is to really, as much as you can, let the emotions move through you. And, for some of us at certain points in our journey, emotion is too hard to contact directly. And we need to be more in the mind, or we need to, you know, compartmentalize the emotions a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. So, whatever's here in your experience today, right now, is your perfect teaching. There's not somewhere to get to. That's the mind error that I made for a long time. There's nowhere to get to. Right here, right now, being with this mind, body, heart, spirit, soul, whatever you believe in, you just being you, this is your perfect curriculum. And learning to be with yourself as you go through your life in your perfect curriculum, learning to connect more and more to the present moment as a support to just being human, a support, especially for those times when it's hard to be a human. So the present moment, the breath it's like your safety line. It's always here. It's always linking you up with the truth of the present moment. The mind can get very messy and confusing and tell us all sorts of stories. But when you rest in one breath, doesn't even have to be a lot. When you just let yourself rest in one breath, for that moment, you're just right now. That's where we can start. And on some days, one breath is all we can do. So as you practice being with the breath, being with yourself just as you are, just going to quietly play this song in the background that is, for me, it's all about like, how do we be human when things are really hard, when things are really messy, but it feels uplifting to me. It feels, I don't know, you see how you feel. I don't, you maybe, we're all different, right? But music has been helping me right now, especially spiritual music that helps me connect to something bigger than myself, helps me remember that at the core of it, we're really all connected. And just keep noticing your breath. Notice if you've got a reaction to the song, notice if you like it, notice if you don't like it. Have all the humanness of just noticing and see if you can just let the words, let the lyrics, let the music just kind of be with you in your consciousness without having to do anything, with just allowing yourself to maybe receive some medicine if it feels like that to you. And then after I play the song, we'll have, about 10 more minutes to sit. And I'm not going to speak. I'm just going to be with you in silence. And then when the meditation is coming to a close, we'll dedicate our practice and find completion. So I invite you just to rest and relax and be held in the music, and then to sit with your breath and with whatever is here for you today, with as much gentleness and as much kindness as you can find for yourself, because we all deserve that, no matter what.
Wait, but what are you waiting for? Look, what are you looking for? Is there something in the way? Trying to hold on tight to change, then let go, my friend. The beginning is the end, and what you'll come to see, you see you have always been. The song remains the same. Upasana, we dance inside the storm. Sudasattva, we will be forevermore. You are strong, you are wise, you are patient, you are kind. Upasana, we dance inside the storm. You fight, but what are you fighting for? Knock, but who's knocking at the door? Does it open from within? Are we ready to begin? Then let go, my friend. The beginning is the end. And what you'll come to see, you see you will always be. The song remains the same. sattva. We will be forevermore. You are strong, you are wise, you are patient, you are kind. Upasana, dance inside it. Is there something more to life? Don't tell me you're just here to die when you cannot see behind, for your veil is where you hide. We must all look deep inside. Upasana, we dance inside the storm. Sudasattva, we will be forevermore. I am strong, I am wise, I am patient, I am kind. Upasana, yeah, we dance inside the storm. Upasana, yeah, we dance inside the storm. Upasana, yeah, we dance and we dance and we dance. Upasana, yeah, we dance inside the storm. Upasana, yeah, we dance.
And as you continue to breathe with your experience, as you continue to be with, sometimes being with is easier than others. So maybe today being with your inner world is beautiful and easeful. And maybe it's really hard today. And if it is really hard, it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just means you're human. And no matter how long we've been practicing, we all have those hard moments and hard days. And, as you reflect on how you dance within your own storm, like Sam Garrett was singing about, we dance within the storm. See what arises for you as you feel into what you want for yourself. How do you want to dance within your own storm? Maybe for some of you that involves some connection to the sacred, some connection to that which is beyond my identity as a human being. Upasana, which was the word he kept singing in Sanskrit, it means this practice of lovingly and attentively, lovingly and attentively drawing closer and closer to that which you hold sacred. It's just for a moment, even if life is super messy right now. I want to invite you into a moment when you felt closer to the sacred, closer to that which you hold sacred. Maybe it was a moment in nature. Maybe it was the birth of your child. Maybe it was in prayer. Can you remember a moment when you felt closer to that which you hold sacred? Just remember what that was like. And if a moment's not coming to you, envision, feel, bring in as many senses as you want into the practice of drawing closer to that which you hold sacred, even if it's just in your own mind. Breathe it in. Breathe in the quality of those moments. Sometimes they're super brief, sometimes we get a little more time with them. But a moment when you felt connected to something bigger, maybe you felt a moment of peace or ease, maybe you caught a glimpse of something sacred or awesome or awe-inspiring. Just really breathing that into your heart, even if it's something that it's hard to imagine, but it's like a sunset where just for a moment, you're just watching the colors, or a hug where you really feel the warmth. And breathe that in, and I'd invite you to use it to fortify your being, to really nurture your being with the energetic blessings of that moment. And you can come back to that moment whenever you want, whenever you're needing, you know, a connection to something that can sustain, a connection to that impermanence, a connection to that which is the oneness, the witness, whatever you call it, God. And then I want to invite you to imagine that that feeling of sacredness, of connection, even if it's subtle, even if it was hard to access today, imagine that you can breathe that into your being. And as we Om together, if you'd like, you can imagine that you're just sharing that with everyone, with the world, in the interest of, raising consciousness, in the interest of spreading goodness, compassion, peace. So in a moment, we'll breathe in together. On the exhale, we'll Om and invite you to feel the vibration of the Om in your own being. And maybe the ideation of you're sharing this gift that you're inviting into yourself, this gift of connection to oneness or whatever that sounds or looks like. And you're sharing it out into the universe, touching all the beings, all the animals, plants, humans on the planet, as vast and as far as your mantra can travel. And we'll do that 3 times, and then we'll come back together and have time for questions. So breathing in. Om. Feel your own vibration. It's not about the sound. Breathing in. Om. Last one. Share it with the world if you want to. Om. If you want, you can place your hands in front of your heart. There's no have to. I'm just going to dedicate our practice. So the energy that all of us here online as a community that we cultivated in our practice, in our looking inward, in our wishes for ourselves and for the planet and for all the beings, I would love to dedicate our practice today. May the fruits of our practice spread outwards in all directions and help to end the suffering of all beings everywhere. And if you'd like, you can blow that wish into your hands and then blow it out into the universe if you want to. When you feel ready, allowing the body to shift and move.